Oh, wee master goodness! Welcome back to our Permaculture Food Challenge. For those of you joining us for the first time, we are a family of 4 living in the Namib Desert just outside of Swakopmund. And in 2025, we committed to eating only from our garden for 3 full days a week by the end of the year. We are starting slow and steady, just 1 day a week, and February was our second month on this journey. Sundays have become our special garden days, slow, grounded, and a little bit earthy under the nails. This February, we managed to meet our 1 day a week challenge by planning all our harvest meals for Sundays. With a bit of bartering, we were able to sell some pigs thanks to the great people in the community. We were able to exchange some of the proceeds for 3 kilograms of fresh kabeljou that became the hero of our Sunday meal. In addition to this, we also discovered a local dairy on the river plot, opening our options for us to increase the types of ingredients we would produce ourselves. Or so we thought. Our first attempt at butter did not go as we thought it would. It was so close, but just too little cream. So it was back to the drawing board on that. From the first 2 trials of the food challenge, we have learned to pace our meals and have settled for brunch and a very late lunch, almost dinner, to stretch what we had over the day. Brunch saw us having our famous green omelette, but with a tomato twist. The milk, oh the milk, makes such a huge difference. We're thinking of getting a cow now, but that will have to wait. Slow and steady wins the race. Lunch was a bit of a challenge. We wanted to make oven-baked kabeljou and veg, including the leftover potatoes and onions we traded with from Aubrey in the previous week. Fresh Lazy House wife beans were in abundance, and all this was to be seasoned with an abundance of fresh herbs our property had to offer. But as Murphy would have it, our oven failed and we had to resort to a pan-fried fish topped with fresh tomatoes from the garden. We tried using some passion fruit pulp as a lemon replacement for sourness. It was not lemons. We need to add lemons to the list for bartering while our trees are still not bearing fruit yet. Adding a stir-fry veg as a side filled the dish, but it could have been a bit better if we had prepped the veg in a more stir-fry style. Thank you, Murphy. By now, we were starting to feel the gaps, especially in protein and variety. We were only able to sell 6 duck eggs during the week and were not able to get milk for the week either. The children were not looking forward to what they called Starvation Sunday, but have a full understanding of why we need to take a step to sustainability. Eggs. We have plenty of eggs, and they have become our go-to protein source when we have nothing. The children have become accustomed to making their own omelets in the mornings and have figured out what their favorite herb varieties and quantities are. Enjoying the food challenge? But just having a few boiled eggs as a change up to the omelets for brunch also works for some in the household. Late lunch found us scratching and really made us realize what a lot of people in the country go through almost every day. We at least were lucky to still have 2 kabeljou, a pair, literally a pair of potatoes left over from the previous week's trade. We still had a lot of beetroot in the garden and were able to harvest a handful of bantam sweet corn to fill the meal. Our oven was still out of action and we had to settle for pan-fried fish again, but this time we tried to get a bit of a lemony flavor by adding some lemon verbena and lemon balm from our garden to the mix of herbs used. The boiled beetroot became a bit boring and we decided to try some beetroot fries to change things up a bit and to assess the potential for saving some as a salty snack throughout the day. The fries were so good, however, that it was almost swept clean before we could plate it for our meal. Definitely something to keep in the arsenal of alternate snacks for the future. This weekend brought the heat. literally and figuratively. The garden was struggling, and so were we. I almost bailed on the food challenge because of a work deadline at the office, but we stuck to our guns and pulled through. Passion fruit was coming into a phase of abundance, and we managed to sell quite a bit to family and friends. A huge thank you to everyone that purchased some produce from us. Every little bit helps. The earnings went into our circular economy pool fund, from which we are only allowed to purchase locally grown and produced goods. Welcome to all our new subscribers. We are truly blessed to have you along for our journey. If you are not aware of our Permaculture food challenge or its rules, please check out episode 1. We break it all down in there. We'd also like to take the opportunity to thank everybody that has purchased coffees for us. This really helps as it adds funds to speed up projects that we are busy with on the property. No stress for those that aren't able to purchase coffees. Just a like and subscribe already helps our channel move in the right direction. So to get the day going, I prepped my meal while Annegret and the kids whipped up omelets for brunch. I went with boiled eggs and fresh pawpaw, and couldn't resist a repeat batch of beetroot chips to snack on at the office. Sunflower seeds and passion fruit filled the rest of my day. The beet chips kept the jaw busy, but energy was a bit low by late afternoon. The key insight this week: we need potatoes in our diet. So Ezra has been tasked with starting a new batch and exploring how we can manage the Tuta Absoluta challenge sustainably. The kids kept things rolling at home with egg pancakes throughout the day. And yes, we're starting to really think about our flour options now. I finished the day with the remainder of the pawpaw and was happy to go to bed early when I arrived home. I'm just glad that we had this one in the bag. After last week's struggles, we were determined to boost our morale. This Sunday we made chutney. Yes, some glorious homemade garden chutney. And the fun didn't stop there. I filmed the whole process as a way to get some editing practice. You guys should check that video out. I think it was pretty cool. The chutney added a burst of flavor to our fluffy scrambled eggs, alongside a fresh jug of milk. Dessert! Yes, we had dessert. Passion fruit straight from the vine. Sunday lunch was a celebration. We harvested a spent chicken, and the bartered garlic from Aubrey finally cured. Combining this with our last decent sized onion and some leeks, celery, rosemary and basil in the pressure cooker for a slow cooked flavor packed stew. While the chicken was getting a full body massage to release all that muscle tension in the steam pot, we harvested some kale, Swiss chard tomatoes and a few chilies, and more fresh herbs. We even unearthed some scraggly carrots that added great body to the dish. And a special shout out to Marta. Thank you for the sweet potatoes and the sweet potatoes that you gave us. A colored Sunday without starch is not a Sunday lunch. I must say that this stew was easily one of the best meals I've ever had. Honestly, the homegrown herbs and only salt and pepper is a total different taste experience. We're still figuring out our drinks, however, to pair with our meals, but good old water did the job. Boosted by last week's flavors, we entered the final week hungry for more, and not just food, but progress in the garden. We had a ton of work prepping new garden beds for better continuity in our harvest. Breakfast was on the go, and I grabbed a handful of figs and passion fruit and chased it down with a jug of fresh milk, straight from the cow. Annegret and the kids held the fort with their now new traditional Sunday omelets. The day's snacks included sunflower seeds and more garden fruit, but as the work piled up, energy dropped fast. I eventually crashed for an afternoon nap, and oversleeping on an empty stomach is no joke. As it was becoming late, we quickly threw together some sweet potato fries to reboot the engine, then harvested more garden veg for dinner, including a massive beetroot and more greens. Our oven was still out of action, so no roasted butternut for us, but we managed a stir fry with beetroot and boiled eggs, rounded off with some fresh pawpaw. Not bad for an off-grid Sunday dinner. And with that, we closed off our February food challenge with a sense of gratitude and a craving for better infrastructure. February tested us, but also showed us where our systems are strong and where we need to tweak things. From eggs to chickens, passion fruit to potatoes, we've begun seeing our garden not just as a food source, but as our teacher. February taught us that consistency matters more than perfection. One day a week might not sound like a lot, but it's a massive shift in mindset, and we're ready to continue next month. Thank you for following our journey. We'll be back next month with more stories, more barters, and hopefully more meals made right here from our soil to our plates. If you're doing something similar or just want to connect, drop a comment. We'd love to hear your story. Until next time, keep growing, keep sharing, and stay blessed.